Hello guys, and welcome back to another interesting tutorial. In the previous tutorial, we have made our capsule to move and jump. Instead of working with shapes, let's shape our game to look more real. Instead of capsule, we will use real character now. First, let's hide our capsule. Go to our starter projects. Find Hello ISO. Inside Meshes, Characters subfolders, find the player asset. Now drag the player asset into the hierarchy. Drag it back into our working folder to make prefab. Now, let's find the design file we have used as logic for capsule. We will reuse it and upgraded it. So, drag and drop logic asset over the player game object into hierarchy. It will automatically add the logic component and assign the design to it. All components defined inside the design are implemented on the player game object too. We need just to enable all nodes and set values. But we will do that in play mode, simulating real development, so we can see how changes affect the game. If we hit play now, the player will fall pulled by the gravity. So, select the player and open the prefab. Select root game object inside prefab content. We will add a capsule collider component. This we will define the boundaries of the player. Plane under the player has similar boundaries defined. Drag green squares on the capsule until bounds the player. Now Unity Physics Engine is aware of that and doesn't allow boundaries overlapping, thus preventing player fall. Now, let's continue with our development. We will enable nodes and see what will happen. We will do this manually, because we want to practice. But, we could copy the capsule settings into the Logic Forge clipboard, and paste them on the player. Fix the direction vector multiplier. When trying to move the player by pressing arrow keys, the player is rolling instead of moving. To prevent that, we need to freeze rotation by X and Z. Now we will set value for the jump and enable what else we forgot to enable. Okay. We have movement and jump working. If we open the scene top view, we can see that the player is not oriented towards the input direction. We couldn't notice that with the capsule cause capsule has no face, and is symmetrical on the sides. Let's snap the view and then disable the movement by switching off the rigid body node, so we can see what we need to do. When we press the arrow key, we can see the direction. You will notice also that this blue axis line always pointing the players forward. So we need to rotate the player, such the forward vector aligns with the input direction vector. Re-enable the rigid body node. Add another vector 3 component. We will use only X and Z axes. So let's connect horizontal input to X and vertical input to the Z axis. Set multipliers to 1. Now, we have input direction. If we want the player to look in that direction, we need to rotate it. So search functions, and choose look rotation. This component will give us a rotation required to achieve the assigned direction. Then we will apply that rotation to rigid body. That's it. Now the player is correctly oriented. But our baby is stillborn. Let breathe some life into it. Back to starter projects. Find animation subfolder in Hello ISO folder. Drag player idle animation in the design. Enable it. Yeah. Our player starts breathing. Now do the same with player move animation. Now we need to switch the animation, depend on that we are pressing the arrow keys or not. Before we do that, let's move the animation nodes closer to the input node. Now we will add one formula, checking if there is a horizontal or vertical value. If there is, play move, if not, play idle. As you can see, our design got pretty cluttered, so in the next tutorial we will introduce good practices by defining states and organize a game logic. May the forge be with you.